Welcome, folks, to thechefandthegrape.com. Obviously, I am still your host, Chef Christoph, and something very exciting tonight. We are starting an entire cycle on sparkling wines. And what better way to start than with a question and answer with the team at one of the most prestigious sparkling wine producers in the world. At least, I consider them to be so, and many others do as well. But before we get to the interview, I was at a luncheon recently, and a colleague of mine, a much more learned colleague than I am, he has a lot more experience than I do, he just knows a lot more about wine than I do. He put forward a notion at the luncheon, and he said that he thought that the greatness in sparkling wine came from the terroir. He said the greatness in sparkling wine comes from its place, from its soil and its sun and its wind and its rain. That's what makes great sparkling wine. And I said, well, that's true, but it's only a half-truth. Because if we as consumers get to taste the greatness of, the minerality of the soil, and we get to feel the warmth on the grapes, ripening them properly, and we get to smell the wild herbs growing on the hillside, I said, well, that's because there's a great winemaker there. He defended his position, I defended mine. That's the way of life. But I thought, well, who better to ask than two of the people who work at one of the best winemaking or wineries in the world. Let's ask them actually what they think about the relationship between winemaker and terroir. So the winery that we're focusing on tonight is Summerhill Pyramid Winery in Kelowna, which is in the Okanagan Valley of British Columbia, Canada. If you have not been reading my work, if you have not been reading my tweets at A Student of Wine, then you might not know that in 2011 at the International Sparkling Wine Competition in London, England, they placed first in the world for sparkling wine. You might not know that in 2014 at the Effervescence Mondiale in Lyon, in France, I think it's Lyon, maybe not Lyon, but anyways, in France, they actually placed 6th in the world for their entry-level sparkling rosé. Yes, 6th in the world for their entry-level sparkling rosé. And that's with a host of other accolades that they have earned. They have earned because they have created consistent excellence. So don't listen to my words. Don't listen to my learned colleagues' words. Listen to this team talk about the relationship. And at the end of it, I'll tell you a little bit more about my thoughts. Maybe.
Welcome, folks, to thechefandthegrape.com. Of course, I am your host, Chef Christoph, and I'm here at a very exciting event. I'm here in Hawksworth's private dining room in downtown Vancouver, and about to engage in a fantastic event for sparkling wine. Summerhill Winery, who some of you might have read the previous articles. Summerhill Winery placed first in the world at the International Sparkling Wine Competition in 2011, and at the Effervescence Mondiale, their sparkling rosé placed 6th in the world. So these are guys who really know their work. Organic winery, partially biodynamic, true leaders in sparkling wine production and in organics and biodynamics, certainly in Canada and some would say in all of North America. So they have arranged a lunch and a tasting today where we will be comparing some of Summerhill's best sparkling wines against some of the best of their contemporaries from across the world. I hope to give you updates as we go along. We'll see how that works with people's plans. But at the very least, at the end of it, I've been told that we can sit and have a little conversation with Ezra Sept, the CEO, and with Eric van Krossig, their winemaker, who is the most decorated winemaker in Canada. Good afternoon, folks, and welcome again to the ChefandtheGrape.com. Obviously, I'm your host, Chef Christoph, and I'm lucky enough to be here today with my very good friends, Eric van Krossig and Ezra Sept, both of Summerhill Greatness. Summerhill Pyramid Winery. Guys, thanks so much for having me to today's amazing sparkling wine luncheon.
No, you're so welcome. It was great having you, and welcome whoever you are out there.
Hopefully somebody's watching us. But, you know, we talked about a lot of things this afternoon. We had a chance to taste some great sparkling wines comparing Summerhill versus some of the best of their contemporaries from around the world. And there was a notion that was put forward today that great sparkling wine comes as a reflection of place.
Well, I think that's an obvious conceit and like a true conceit to make.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you piped in.
Yeah, well, I mean, but all great wine, whether it's sparkling or not, is a reflection of place.
Yeah, but that's only the start of it, right? I mean, there's the interaction, right? Like somebody has to pick it, because otherwise, nobody picks the grapes. It's compost.
Somebody has to plant the vine in the first place. I mean, terroir without people. I think the thing about terroir is it's actually hard to wrap your head around, and it is a French conceit, and there is no translatable word in English. And the thing about it is okay, the ideal of the terroir, the highest expression of the terroir, the potential of the terroir. Okay, the potential of the terroir exists in the geology of the place.
I didn't realize we were already digging into the area.
Etc.
Nice.
The potential, the highest and best use of the terroir exists in the people, and in the expression, and in your word, Eric, intention.
The intention and the interpretation, right? Because it is so, I mean, everything about wine is subjective. Like what you like, what I like, you know. I always say if I'm going to put it in my mouth, I'm going to want to like it. Right?
Yeah.
And it's completely subjective. But on top of that, so any given winemaker or every given person whose intention it is, whatever their intention is, but you know, in my case, I can say my intention is to both work with the microbes in the soil and promote them, to promote the terroir on the vine, to promote the grower, to promote the right amount of water usage through the whole season to get me that grape that I'm looking for.
Right.
Then after that, it's still going to be my intention to make the best wine possible with everything that I've ever experienced and to date. You know, because it's all that coming to forbearance on that grape and on that wine and that style, saying, no, this is, of all the things I've learned, or of all the seasons I've experienced, I want this to come true. You know, but it's all about intent, and it's also like every single one of my team, but having them and the same mindset and the same, you know, state of mind and well-being that say, yeah, you know, we want this incredible thing for this grape.
Right.
You know, and being excited about it and really bringing it forward, because intention's huge. Like, and I do. It was only a while ago when I got into the whole vibrational thing, but it is what people's touch on a grape, whether it be a plant or a grape or the wine itself, is very real. Like what you bring to the forbearance. So
May I just pipe in?
Absolutely. You pipe in. Then
we're drinking a single vineyard wine. This is Summerhill Vineyard in Kelowna.
Right.
And there's a winemaker in the Okanagan named Pascal.
Okay.
Matt Van, you probably know him. He works at Kulmina now.
Okay.
And
fantastic wine.
Pascal, great winemaker. And he succinctly defined terroir for me better than anybody has. Terroir is what makes this vineyard different from this vineyard.
Yeah.
Right? This is from a single vineyard. So unless you are interfering, it's going to express that place.
But you know, I think sometimes, especially here in North America, when we're talking about terroir, we are a little too French, sometimes they'll say gelé, and they mean that you're not literally frozen. That's the literal translation, but your heart's a little cold. Sometimes when we talk about terroir, we forget that one of the most beautiful parts of terroir actually is the emotional aspect. And I think that's what you were talking about when you were talking about intent and vibration. And in kitchens, in culinary terms, we talk about love actually quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because every single human being on the face of the planet since the beginning of time has always said, oh, you know what, I love my mom's this, I love my dad's that, I love when grandma used to make the, right?
Because it's made with love.
Because it's made with love, it's made with intention, it's made with true vibration, right?
Yeah.
And so to have this ideology that sparkling wine is only great because of the place it comes from, and that the intent...
The place is the potential.
Yes. Oh, that's fantastic. Can I use that? That's amazing. I like that. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So...
Let's be simple about it.
I really wanted to talk to these guys. They're not just learned colleagues, but they are friends and respected mentors when it comes to wine of this caliber. And I wanted to get from them their point of view on really what drives the quality of great sparkling wine. Because 2011 International Sparkling Wine Competition. Yeah.
2010 at the IWSC.
Yeah.
What wine was it? It was the
Gabriel.
Yeah, Eric
Gabriel.
brought home a trophy for the Okanagan Valley. It was significant for all of Canada, really.
Yes.
It was the best bottle fermented sparkling wine in England at the International Wine and Spirit Competition.
In the world.
Yeah, in the world. And
against all comers.
yeah.
It was a good day.
2014 Effervescence Mondiale,
Yeah.
right? The sparkling rosé,
Yeah.
6th.
Top 10 in the world.
Yes.
Against all comers.
Yeah.
Champagne,
And
everything.
price point on that?
$26.95.
$26.95.
And interesting enough, it didn't sell more than we had expected it to sell, even though it came in top 10 in the
Should have
world.
jacked the price.
I know, right? Oh dear.
Guys, thank you very much for putting on this event that was educational and inspirational to the people who got to attend. But thank you even more for sharing your thoughts and sharing your intention, sharing your vibration, because you know that one of the things that I respect most about what Summerhill is doing is it truly is showing people that it is a good and beautiful thing to care about your land and to learn how to work with it to achieve what the land wants to create, not superimpose our egotistical version of what we want to create.